Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on Series 8, Episode 4 of Doctor Who. Listen, let me say from right out of the gate, this was a properly creepy episode. Definitely sent shivers up my spine on a few occasions, and that is not least of which because it's playing on that primal fear, something that goes all the way back to earliest mankind of sleeping in caves and being out in the jungle at night. Jungle animals potentially poised to attack or fearing, snakes and spiders and scorpions attacking you in your cave and your homestead and stuff like that. It's really playing on that fear of something existing just off the periphery of our vision, within the shadows, writhing in the dark. When you're going to bed and the house is settling and you're hearing those unearthly noises or the pipes, or if you live in an apartment like I do, voices from afar from other apartments and stuff, it all plays on that fear. And I absolutely love that this episode was really just, I felt at least, the pinnacle of Stephen Moffat's playing on those things. I feel like it was cherry-picked and a mesh of all of his best concepts where it pertains to scariness and scary themes. I mean, taking from, the Weeping Angels aspect of Blink, the time displacement and being timey-wimey, being very creepy in that, but also the idea of you can't, take your eyes away from them. In this case, it's kind of the reverse of that. You can't look behind you. You shouldn't look at whatever the monster is, the threat is, the boogeyman under the bed and everything like that. And as well as, sort of the shadow creatures, Vashta Narada, that kind of thing. I feel like a lot of those aspects were just at their pinnacle in this episode. And, that's what really made my day with this episode. But then, of course, you also have this through-line thread of sort of a relationship budding between Clara and Danny Pink, which, again, was something I felt was really enjoyable to watch. I like them together. I like their characters together. And I like, even when it goes wrong, I mean, you're feeling the tension because it's relatable tension. It's things we all go through, saying the wrong thing, getting upset with somebody, wanting to walk out, but wanting to give them another chance. And already you're seeing that burgeoning potential relationship, which then is compounded by the fact that, of course, using the telepathic circuits, which I thought was a great addition to the TARDIS console, basically Clara leads them back to Danny Pink as a child, and so she's already kind of influencing him in certain ways and all this kind of stuff, and that's very intriguing. Again, the creepiness of the time travel, the timey-wiminess, and that plays on their relationship. You can see because, passed down through the ages is that little soldier figurine and everything like that, and eventually she tries to make amends with Danny, and then he walks out. And, their whole situation going back and forth, meeting what is potentially her own great-great-grandson and piecing that together without actually trying to give a tip of the hat to the Doctor of what's going on, that was absolutely stunning and awesome. Seeing the Doctor obsessed with wanting to understand what this boogeyman thing in the dark is. What if you're talking to yourself and you're not really talking to yourself? All that stuff reminded me a lot of the same kind of obsession we saw in the first Doctor, William Hartnell, in the first Dalek serial, where he basically sabotages the TARDIS console so he can go see a city on Skaro, which leads them to their very first introduction, sadly, to the Daleks. And then, of course, the sort of bow tie toward the end that almost had me misty-eyed, I have to admit, of linking Clara to the Doctor. You have to realize it's that paradoxical time travel thing where, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, we have the Doctor who has many a time had all these words of inspiration and been a courageous figure in the face of fear, turning fear into a superpower. And here we have Clara seemingly being the one that instills that in him. But in fact, it was he who instilled it in her, and vice versa. And the circle continues. So it was just brilliant to see the idea of, the Doctor as a child being questioned. Will he ever become a Time Lord? We don't know. Well, of course we do later on. But the idea that in his childhood he was very vulnerable as he, goes around saving people who are throughout the universe. Just brilliant. I absolutely love this episode. I couldn't give it higher praise other than to say, please take the time out of your day to watch this. If you're upset with it, if it's something that didn't rub you the right way, well, that's your problem. I loved it. And so, I hope this video finds you well. And thank you once again to Howard for making it all possible for me to check this episode out. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.